Okay, you talk about football games and baseball stadiums. I'll give you another one coming up on Tuesday also. Guaranteed Rate Bowl. West Virginia and Minnesota playing at Chase Field.
Oh, yeah.
Minnesota,
Okay.
Minnesota by 5, total sitting at 45. You can give me line history, but it's been around this 5 down to 4, back to 5, total basically sitting in the same area. And I've got a fun storyline for you here. You ready for this one?
Yes, please.
So we talk opt-outs. We talk coaches that aren't there. You got 2 coaches that are there. PJ Fleck, 2-0 in bowls under Minnesota.
Row the
Neil
boat.
Brown, 4-0 in bowls, Troy and at West Virginia. So you got good bowl prep here. Here's the story. A name you'll know, Kirk Soraka, former offensive coordinator at your Penn State Nittany Lions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before Penn State, he was at Minnesota as the offensive coordinator.
Yep.
Minnesota has just rehired him as the offensive coordinator, Kirk Soraka. Okay?
Yeah.
Now you're looking at me like, why the hell are you telling me this? Why do I care about Kirk Soraka right now? Here's why. He spent the last season at West Virginia, this season at West Virginia as an analyst. He has now left Morgantown.
Oh, this is that guy
you told Minnesota.
Me about. Yeah. So he just spent this whole season in Morgantown?
Designing game plans, scouting opponents, looking at strengths and weaknesses. Now he takes his big binder of information and heads to Minnesota, who just so happens to be playing West Virginia in this game. A little bit of analyst to coordinator intrigue here.
Does that affect your handicap now that you know that?
Yeah.
It does.
It does. Now, he's not coaching in this game. All reports say he's bummed out. They say Kirk Soraka, a really good guy. He's bummed out to have to go over on the other side. At the same time, he knows this stuff. You got to factor it in somehow. You talk about knowing strengths and weaknesses, knowing where to attack, where not to attack. That's an advantage. Even if he tries to stay away, there's an advantage in that. Now,
the line opened up 3.5. It's up to 5 in a lot of places, but some places have 4. So there hasn't been movement in some places. Here in Vegas and 2 of the places I'm looking at, the Circa and the Westgate, it's 5 and 4.5, just for the record. Go ahead, sir.
Yep, and I'm 5 here at DraftKings where I am in West Virginia, so it's at 5. So on the field, the challenge for West Virginia is going to be a mediocre offense all season. Now is without its back-to-back 1,000-yard rusher and Letty Brown. He's
not playing?
He's not playing. He's out. So West Virginia's run game's not good to begin with, but the one piece of the run game that got the bulk of the carries this year is out. West Virginia was going to have to throw it regardless, but that's a significant loss for a West Virginia offense that's in need of playmakers. So no Letty Brown there. On the flip side, Minnesota's not overly dynamic offensively. They're massive along the front line. They're going to want to run it, ball control and run it. West Virginia's kryptonite defensively. They've been very good defensively. The kryptonite is when you go big against West Virginia, which Minnesota does because it is big. When you go big and power run against West Virginia, you can have some success. That's what Minnesota is going to do. I have a little bit of concern about West Virginia being able to slow down that running attack and then score enough to overcome the loss of Letty Brown. I like Minnesota in this one.
Last show you told us about the Bill Stewart Leave No Doubt speech, and I went and watched it. It's fantastic. It's so good. If you haven't done it, go back and just Google Bill Stewart Leave No Doubt. There's a highlight package. It's like 8 minutes with that fullback at the end, just trying to explain what it was all about. It was a great win. They beat Oklahoma in that Fiesta Bowl as a 6-point dog. I don't think people are going to give West Virginia much of a shot in this game, B-How. I mean, when you look at the numbers and you get the brand name Big Ten against the Big 12 and different things like that, the total is only 45, though, which would lead me to believe there's not going to be a lot of scoring on both sides. I don't know. First thought is I want to take West Virginia, but I mean, if you take out that running back, that's a big deal. Like how many games did they play without him this season? None. He played in a game, right?
None. He's basically been the guy for 2 years. So listen, him getting to 1,000 yards with an offensive line over the last couple of years that has had to play a lot of young guys, that's a remarkable achievement. There's only been 7 other running backs in West Virginia history, a storied history of running backs that have got to back-to-back 1,000 yards. So Letty, that's a big hit. Now this line's playing better. It's certainly coming along with some young guys, but this is an offense. If it gets to 27 or 30 points, you've had a great offensive output. That's what this team does. So against a good Minnesota defense, if you told me West Virginia got to 24, I'd say, okay, that would be a lot.
Is that enough? Is that enough to win this game?
I don't think it is.
I don't think it is either. I think it sounds to me like Minnesota's going to score 4 touchdowns minimum. Okay, so if they get 28 and a field goal, 31, that's way higher than their team total. So if
a 24-20 is absolutely on the
well,
table.
that's the number. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's the projected score. That's what the line tells you, and that's what the total tells you. So 24-20 makes perfect sense. But I think Minnesota gets more than that. And if you're telling me West Virginia won't, I guess I got to side right now with row the boat, and Minnesota Golden Gophers right now. But I'm looking. I think you'll be able to wait and take the dog with West Virginia and get close to 6. This thing's going to go that way. It's head. If they haven't touched the West Virginia side yet, they're going to wait to try to grab 6 or try to drive this thing up to 7, and then forget about it. The order will come in, the bag will show up, and it'll be a West Virginia side at 7. But 5 is a weird number. I mean, we talk about it on Cash Considerations all the time with Carl and Newbie and stuff. 5 is one of those. It got to be more than 3, but it can't be 7. So I just throw 5, and usually you get a bet to 4 or 4.5 or 6. Hasn't moved. I mean, it moved from the initial 3.5, which may have been low. So interesting game. Another one that I think that'll be that's a late night special for you. You're going to be up for that game?
I'll be up for the start of it. Yeah, this will be a hard one to stay awake at the end. West Virginia played in this game a few years ago. It was a great game. Played against Arizona State. West Virginia won on a last-second touchdown pass. It was really entertaining. The darn thing ended like at 1:45 in the morning East. That's a tough one out here, Dave. That's a tough one.
That is a tough one.
Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, click on another video right here on the screen. And if you really liked it, consider subscribing below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.